Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here. Our Amazon find for today is actually two items. So there's these colorful Crayola color pencils, as well as this savings challenge book. Now there are all kind of savings challenge books that people start at the beginning of the new year. This one is one of my favorites. And I like it because even though it says low income, what that means if you're new to savings challenges is that the dollar amounts start off kind of small. So if you're new to savings or you want to start off slow, got some small amounts. As you can see, this one is a $15 savings challenge in 5 days. And then as you go throughout this book, it gets progressively higher. So I like that. And you can see here, I've already colored in some of the pages. It moves up to $30, says save $30 in 7 days. And the days really don't matter. It's just as you get to that dollar amount, you can color in the goal that you've reached. And then once you accomplish the $30 savings challenges, it goes up to 50. Or you can simply skip around in this book. So I like the versatility of the book. And then here it gets up to, now we're at $100. It says $100 savings challenge. And if you look like how I've colored in the page, each page represents $100 once it's fully colored in. So as you can see, there's like a 3, a 5, a 7. So you can pick random amounts to color in. Or if you want to save $100 altogether, you can just lump in $100 and color the entire page. And then as you get further along, you can see the $200 savings challenges. And then where I am now, I've made it to the $300 savings challenge pages. Now, one thing that I've done, I don't save cash. I do everything online, so I don't keep a bunch of cash. But what I have been doing, I don't know if you can see it at the bottom here, like where this says $27.25, and then over here, this is $300 more, and then you see it'll say $30.25. So as I get to a different savings challenge, I will just add the amount. So for example, this is $30.25. So on this next page, and I'm gonna do this one with you all, I'm gonna do $33.25 because $30.25 plus 300 is $33.25. So I'm gonna get my pen out, and I just make myself a little note here so that I know that I'm at $33.25 once I reach this page. And I will just color this in. I really like this. This is very relaxing. After a long day, sometimes I'll just sit here and color, and I have all types of, I have markers. Now I will say with this particular book, I think crayons or color pencils work better because the pages aren't super thick. So with the lighter colors, it's not as much of an issue, but with the deeper colors, you don't want to use markers because it may bleed through. But before we sit down and color this page, we'll do this one together. Something else that I kind of want to show you. So just looking at the rest of the book, again, it progresses. So you'll see this is $400, $500. And then here, if you're not so I said all this to say, don't get thrown off by this name. When it says low income savings challenge, you've got higher dollar amounts in this book. So there's $1,600. There's some $850 pages, some $600. This one is $3,000, and each of these symbols represent $125. So if you want to jump into higher dollar amounts, you can. Now, what I've done here, these are blank initially. So I'll see, like this is an example of a blank page. You can pick what you want your dollar amounts to be as you color them in. So some days I'll use random.org. Some people like to roll dice, but whatever method you want to use for selecting, if you can see down here, I wrote, well, you probably can't see it. It says roll and save, but you can do that. And then you can pick your dollar amount. So you can create your own savings challenges. And then this is another example of where I've been kind of writing some in, just thinking ahead. But these are more blank pages in the back. So you can kind of customize this into whatever you'd like it to be. There's also a section in the back for, this is $1 a day in 50 days savings challenge, $2,500 savings challenge in 12 months. And then there are some notes in the back. Now I wanted to show you, this is Jar of Hearts. I'll probably do this one closer to Valentine's Day. Then this is pretty popular, the $1,000 emergency fund. So if you are getting started, just getting started, that's also in this book. So again, it's a pretty fun book, lots of challenges. You can pick and choose what you want to save for. For example, like if you're just saving money, just to have money in emergency fund, a sinking fund, a 529 for your children, you could save for, I track my health savings account, for example, not necessarily in this book, but an HSA. So anything, if you want to do your Roth IRA or your Roth 401k, whatever you want to just kind of track and color. If you just like coloring and you are artistic and this kind of relaxes you, then this is a good way to just kind of sit down, track your savings, and just relax. So we're going to start to color this page together. And I'm going to show you, these are it says preferred by teachers. I really like these. They're pretty smooth. They're pre-sharpened when you get them. I also have some twistables. I'll show you those in another video so that this video isn't too terribly long. But I'm just going to pick out a couple of deep colors, and we will do a little bit of coloring together. Some pages I'll do them all in one shade, and then some days I'm feeling really colorful. Some days I like yellow because it's really bright and cheery. So it just depends. So when I'm filming this video, I don't know when you'll watch it, but it's currently the beginning of the new year. So this is, like I said, a good time for people to start savings challenges. The beginning of the new year reminds me of winter, so I think a lot about blues. I think that's why I initially gravitated towards that blue. I'll lay a couple of colors out, and then as I make progress on this page, I will just pick and choose some colors. So I'm gonna take a seat here and start coloring, and then I'll just chat with you all for a little bit. So I'm going to start with a blue and just start. I always just pick a random place to start, and I'm not the best colorer. Sometimes I just like to go around in circles. It depends. I noticed that depending on the shape on the page, that's normally what I'll do. If it's something like a square, I may do straight lines and go side to side. If it's a round shape, I'll just go round and round in circles. The one thing that I do like about the colored pencils is the pointiness of the colored pencils, so you can really get in. Sometimes I'll color in these shapes and then I'll come back and go over it. But what I'll do is normally I'll pick like a row or a column, and I'll just start coloring. And usually by the time it's all said and done, I'm doing a $10 one now. By the time it's all said and done, I've created some kind of nice little pattern, whether I've decided to do so or not. So again, the thing about this challenge is the dollar amounts are definitely doable. I'm gonna do the $9 in blue. It's doable, it's achievable, you don't feel discouraged. Whether you've got a little bit of money or a lot of money, you can participate in this savings challenge. So let me tell you what I ended up doing. For this, what I'm working towards now is $5,000. So I've already saved the money, and I'm kind of doing this backwards. So now I'm just going in, and I'm gonna keep coloring until I get to $5,000. So at the bottom of this page, this page represents $3,325. That's how much I've shaded in this book so far. Something else about me, I told you when I'm at the time of this filming is January, and a lot of people like to do New Year's resolutions. I'm very backwards in that regard. What I tend to do is whatever my New Year's resolution is for that year, like my big lofty goal, I've accomplished it by January 1st. So as it relates to this particular savings challenge, my goal was to put away $5,000 in a certain account, and I was working on it heavily right before, but honestly between November and December. And that's really tough because that's around the holidays, and you know, everybody likes to shop and buy gifts, and you've got Thanksgiving, and I've got a son, my youngest son's birthday is in December. So there are so many opportunities and occasions for celebration, and it's really easy to spend or overspend during that time. So I'm switching up to green now. But I accepted the challenge, and I just kind of buckled down on my savings, and I was able to save $5,000 in that account by the beginning of the year. Part of the reason that I do that too is because I don't want that goal hovering over me all year. So I like to reach my goals. And I actually saw this lady's video. She was talking about how she had saved money before she knew anything about investing. And once she found out about investing was easy for her because she had already had the money saved. And so what she would do is on January 2nd of each year, or whatever the first day was that the market opened, she would simply move her money over into her retirement account. Like if she had a Roth IRA, she would just move her money over, and that way she didn't have the stress of, now I know that takes away from dollar cost averaging, but she didn't have the stress of worrying about it all year. So she would just move it over. And I thought, you know, it's really relieving if you can tackle something on day one, the sooner the better, and then just simply move on with your life. So that's what I'm doing here. I've already saved the money. I've already met my goal. And in this book, I'm gonna color my way up to $5,000. What I'm gonna do with this book once I reach $5,000, I don't know. Because for that particular account, that was the goal. So I don't know if I will add to that account or not. But it was, like I said, this is very satisfying for me to just kind of come in and see the progress that I've made by coloring. So these are some pretty common colors. I feel like blue and green go really well together. So let's go with, let's go a little brighter now. I'm gonna pick this orange color. And this 7 is kind of standing out here. So I'll color in this 7. But I've been enjoying, I always at the beginning of the year, I like watching people's savings challenges. I like hearing what they're saving for, like what their goals are. And I heard something this year that I have not ever heard. So I started watching some savings challenge videos, and I heard people saying, I'm saving for my future baby. I'm saving for, you know, they were naming all these future things that they were saving for. And I was like, we are just, you know, that's a really good place to be in as a younger person, when you're able to save for those big life moments before they even get here. So that just made me smile. And I was like, that's, you know, that's really neat for people to be able to say, you know, those big lofty goals. And so and one lady that I was looking at, she was saving and she was doing pink and blues when she was doing her coloring. And I thought, oh, that is so cute. So she'll be able to look back and, you know, in the future, if she has a child, or I don't know if she already has a child, if she has a second or third child, she could look at her book and flip through and see when she was planning for that child. But anyway, for me, I'm past that stage of life, so I don't have that to worry about. I do have my youngest son. I'm so very proud of him. He actually got a full ride scholarship to college. And so he will be leaving in the fall of this year. So I don't know what to do about that, because I did have some savings goals for that purpose. I didn't know what his college was going to look like. Now, he's very smart. So academically, I felt like he was going to get something just from his academics, because in the state that I live in, we do have a education lottery. And so there are some scholarships that if you're studious and your grades are high enough and your GPA is high enough, then you get some of that educational money that comes from the state lottery. But he's also a student athlete, and so when I realized that, we did the whole signing day. That was so exciting because I've never gotten to participate in that. I've seen photos of that. So I was just so proud of him. And so that also helped me out tremendously because I was thinking, wow, we're going to have to figure this out with college. And so, you know, I've been kind of planning for that for quite some time. And so that was just a really nice goal for him to achieve. But it also was nice for me because that was less money out of my pocket. So I said all of that to say, I think I was planning on spending a little more of this year planning for college for him, and just kind of figuring that out, but I'm gonna pivot a little bit with that. So I'll have to figure out, you know, what other things I may end up working towards at the end of the year. But like I said, I'm kind of breathing a sigh of relief because I've already met my savings goal for this year, and I don't have anything big and lofty. The other thing that I want to say, because we're almost done with this page here, is part of the reason that I do this is, I alluded to a little bit earlier, it is very relaxing, but also just, you know, in the times that we live in now, just to say, everything works out. You know, I know there's always so much that you can be worried about if you consume a lot of news or social media. There always seems to be something major going on. But for the stage of life that I'm in now, the one thing that I can assure you of is life always seems to work out. Things work out. I mean, it can only go one way or the other. So I listen to people's videos and they talk about the things and, oh my goodness, I want to meet this goal and I got to get this thing done. And it's so nice to see, and it's entertaining, but I smile because I know it's going to work out for them, whether they reach that financial savings goal or not. Whether you have a big, huge emergency fund or not, somehow your stars will align and you'll survive. You'll make it through. I know when I was younger, had a lot of, oh, there was this thing about the car breaking down, and recently, you know, we were very fortunate with health, but recently we've had a couple of medical events, but I had the health savings account to serve as a cushion for that. But things always work out, you know, like everything works out for the good. So if you are stressed out about anything, if you're watching this because the savings piece is what interests you, and you've got something that you're really concerned about, or you feel like you're behind, or saving makes you feel overwhelmed, just wanted to give you a few encouraging words to let you know that it always works out. So that's it. This is 15. That was my last big number. This savings challenge book also relieves me. I've tried other savings challenges in the past, and sometimes the numbers are huge. So just having these smaller numbers is it makes it achievable. And then you're motivated to keep going, and you'll be surprised at how much you end up saving. So we are down to the last circle, and it is a 9, and I'm gonna color that in, and that is it for this savings challenge. So again, I'll link this book in the description box below, along with the Crayola colored pens or pencils, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye for now, everyone.